Welcome to Trussville Today. I'm Brandon Dawkins with Tribune Digital Media. Trussville has been changing and growing for years, but one area that has seemed to stay the same is downtown Trussville. But last week, Mayor Buddy Choate unveiled the details of a plan that will take this area, known as Quad 1, and turn it into one of the best places in the city. Well, welcome back to Trussville Today. I'm back here with Mayor Buddy Choate for our second edition of Trussville Today. And Buddy, just recently you have unveiled at a chamber meeting some new details for the downtown redevelopment plan, specifically in Quad 1. We're in Quad 1 today. So kind of tell everybody what you have shared at the chamber meeting recently.
Well, it was a great meeting last Thursday at the chamber, and we are actually standing in the middle of the project of downtown redevelopment. Behind us is Mara Avenue, which we identified as Quad 1. That's where we wanted to start. Developer has come in. Most people know Kobe Lake from Avondale has come out here and purchased some property. And as behind us, headed back up towards Highway 11 is where all this development will be. We're actually standing in a spot here where we have a stage that we unveiled. This will be a staged area down here with a pavilion. Back behind where we're standing, it'll be a family-friendly environment. We'll have a grassy area down here for kids to play in front of the stage, and then we've got restaurants and breweries all around us, so we're excited.
Well, this is kind of walk us through, tell us exactly how it'll look, I guess, coming from US 11. It's really hard to envision this.
Right.
So the stage right here by the river.
That's correct.
And the railroad track.
Yeah.
And then leading up to it, these are all just going to be taken over as restaurants and.
Right. Right now there's several concepts they're looking at as we unveiled. We got several restaurants, Melt and Common House has decided to come, and we're thankful for that. But as you come off of Highway 11 coming down Mara Avenue, of course you see Slag Heap Brewery up on Highway 11, which we're very thankful for them for being here. Right. But as you come down, you'll see a wide street with sidewalks, streetscapes, lights, and then as it comes down, and when it gets down to about halfway down the block, that'll be as far as the traffic can come. It'll be foot traffic from there, and once you get inside the area, there's a big pavilion in the middle of the area being developed, which will be for things like arts and crafts, farmers markets, anything you want to have. And people that are visiting the breweries and the restaurants and the retail development will all be able to meet at the pavilion if they want to. And then behind the pavilion, as you said, where we're standing, this is where the stage area will be for entertainment.
Okay. Well, all these existing buildings gone, or were some of them going to be
most
utilized differently? Right.
Most of them will still be here. The warehouse behind us here is actually where the brewery is going to be set up with a couple of restaurant themes in there. Across the street, these buildings will be taken down. As I've shown, the Common House will be right over here across the street with a balcony above looking down on the stage area, and just past that, moving back up Mara Avenue, will be Melt and a couple of other concepts, and retail will be around it as well.
Well, Buddy, you've mentioned foot traffic through this area. Where will people park?
Actually, the parking we'll have on-street parking, but we have parking lots on design up behind the Keller Williams building there. The lot that we already own is there. We're going to expand that, make it more parking there. We'll have access parking on part of the streets, and then we got some surrounding areas that we hope will be able to develop in the future for more parking.
Okay. This is a big change for Trussville down here. Why should people just be so enthusiastic? And then what does the timeline look like? Well,
the enthusiasm comes from when we took office, when I took office and this council came in, we all campaigned on a new downtown Trussville. And this has happened within the first 11 months or so of this administration. The enthusiasm is from not only the people of Trussville, but people outside of Trussville are now seeing what can happen here. They want to come to a safe environment that has a wonderful neighborhood, a great community to support with events that are family friendly and can promote the whole area, not just this area, but our area, whole downtown should grow from this experience, and we're excited about that.
Okay. Well, we've got more to tell you about. We'll be back after this. Welcome back. Well, buddy, we forgot to cover the details of the timeline before, so let's kind of talk about that.
Okay, sure. We're in the process right now of working with all the utilities involved, and as you'll see or saw during the presentation, a lot of this overhead wires, the poles and everything, all that is going underground. Alabama Power, CenturyLink, Trussville Gas and Water, all the local entities are working together, engineers, and all working to make sure that this is all clean and professional looking. I think this is the middle of October. This time next year, this will really be able to, you'll know by then kind of what it's going to look like. It's probably going to be a 12 to 18 month process. We have streets and sidewalks and lights and businesses to move in here, but it's going to happen over the next 18 months or so. We're really excited.
Okay, so in another area that you wanted to cover with us today is the Braden's Furniture Corner.
Right, we've had a lot to talk about it, and you know the city had bought that business, bought that property several years ago to widen the road. The council and I have decided we have a better plan that we showed at the chamber last week, some connector roads that come around that corner. We're going to take that building down. We just approved a contract last Tuesday night at our council meeting for a local business to move into part of the Braden's building, and if it passes all their inspections, that will remain the same. We'll take down the other part.
Okay.
We'll make our corner improvements to look like we want it to, and there's a possibility we could even put a new business back on the Linden Street side of that property.
Okay.
So we're pretty excited about that.
But will some of it like improve traffic flow like originally intended, I guess?
Actually, we're working with AlDOT on the corner. The intersection is going to be improved. We're going to take down the existing poles that are there now. Once all that's moved off Highway 11, the radiuses on the turn will be a little bigger. We won't necessarily have a designated turn, but it'll be a little easier to turn there. We're going to have new traffic signals with mast arms over it, decorative lighting. It's going to look really neat.
Great.
Yeah.
And the last thing, another update on Edgar's.
Yeah, Edgar's, as you know, was one of the first to come in and buy a piece of property from the city. Terry and Dottie Smith came to our chamber meeting last week. They're very excited. They got a beautiful restaurant and an additional business beside them with a courtyard in the middle. They'll be breaking ground on that very soon, and in fact on their site is a billboard that will show what it's going to look like. We're excited about that and really appreciate them coming to Trussville and bringing that business here.
Well, buddy, finally, we mentioned in the last Trussville Today that people could submit questions. And one of the questions that we got when we did the special on the Greenway is we did not give a lot of details on the large bridge that's on the Greenway that's under repair. People are really anxious to know what's happening there and what the timeline for that bridge looks like.
Well, since our last conversation, we've awarded the contract to repaint the bridge. They are there now working with scaffolding. Putting a primer on now as we speak. The paint will go on, then the Park and Recreation will redeck the bridge. We'll have the rails put back up. Once all that's complete, it'll be a full walking trail with access across that bridge like there used to be, and people will be very happy with the way it's going to turn out.
Okay, well I know people are anxious to see that getting opened up.
Me too.
And used. I know. Well, Mayor Choate, thanks again for joining us today and giving all this information that I know people are anxious to hear and anxious to see the pictures of what we're going to have down here. And when we come back, we're going to sit down with two of the city councilmen who serve on the Downtown Redevelopment Authority. Trussville's local choice for real estate services is Brick Realty, located in the heart of the city on Main Street. Brick Realty has been #1 in sales in Trussville during 2017. They've also been #1 in sales in the surrounding area, including Springville, Clay, and Pinson. For quality and knowledgeable agents, turn to Brick Realty. For more information, visit brickrealty.com. Welcome back. I'm here now with Trussville City Councilman Alan Taylor and Perry Cook, both of whom serve on the Trussville Redevelopment Authority. Gentlemen, thanks for being with us today. We appreciate it. For those who don't know, one of y'all explain to us what being the liaison to the Redevelopment Authority means.
Okay, being on the council and the liaison to the Downtown Redevelopment Authority, we carry back to the council what is discussed at their monthly meetings, which, by the way, are open meetings, open to the public.
That's a good point.
We discuss, or they discuss their agendas and what they're doing, and what we do, we carry it back to the city council and talk about that as a whole as to what their activities are.
And in the past year, the RDA has been very busy, mainly with the grant program. Alan, tell people, we've talked about this before, but tell people a little bit about that again.
Well, one of the things that we realized as we started to look at our downtown is that most of the citizens said we need to make the downtown more attractive. And so we started with some of our existing businesses and how we could help them to kind of do a facelift on their building. And so we started the grant program. The city council did that with the RDA, and it's worked out real well. We've had several businesses. You've seen some improvement in the downtown, hopefully, and most of those were done through our grant program.
Mayor Choate has announced in the most recent chamber meeting, they've unveiled the plans for the Quad 1, as everybody has started to be familiar with, and those are big changes and they're hard to envision, and it's exciting to see these renderings. Why should people, how do y'all feel about the changes that we have come into downtown?
Well, I think it's an excellent opportunity for the growth of downtown Trussville. That Quad 1, which was the property behind the old Mapes facility, that's certainly an area where it needed revitalizing. And I think with the businesses coming in down there, it's going to be a certain uplift and facelift to our downtown area.
Alan, how do you think people are going to feel about it when they see it completed? When you get down on Morrow Avenue and you're standing there next to the creek and you can see the train tracks, it's a different way of seeing it.
It is, and I think our citizens are going to be overwhelmed when they see the final drawing of what our architect have worked on so long. I think they're going to be overwhelmed by it. It's a beautiful area. It's just right now run down. There's some old buildings, and when people see this, they're going to get excited about what's about to happen in Trussville.
Now, what kind of role did the RDA play as this has played out?
The RDA has actually been in the forefront of the activities. What they've done is bring things together for the city. They've actually, spearheaded the purchase of properties that the city needed to purchase that we have talked about for parking. And then they've also kind of gotten their mind around the other things that need to be done to bring the businesses in. And like Alan said, it's going to be a major uplifting for what downtown looks like and with the venues that we'll have downtown. People will be really surprised.
They will, and it's just going to spread out from there.
Yeah, obviously the excitement that you see and feel around Trussville right now, it can't be contained in Quad 1. And I think the focus is there right now, but I think you're going to see other areas around our downtown start to develop. There's already some exciting things coming there too. And I think as you saw, the mayor unveiled those this week of some other properties that are now being looked at. So I think this is just the beginning of what you're about to see. That's going to be an exciting time for Trussville.
Well, the next year, we really do have a lot to look forward to. Gentlemen, thanks for joining us here. And that wraps up our episode of Trussville Today. Again, if you have questions for Mayor Choate, remember you can submit those to news@trussvilletribune.com. For Tribune Digital Media, I'm Brandon Dawkins.